Hi everyone, welcome to our magical life. Today we are starting a new series in the workshop category. This workshop is based on Dr. Joe Dispenza's online course, The Formula. This is one among his works that helped me in changing my life for the better. That is why I thought I will share this wisdom with all of you. This course is helpful because it teaches us how change actually happens in our life, not just in theory, but in practice. We can change any present reality using this practice, whether it is your health, wealth, relationships, or career success. Anything, we can change anything through this process. In this online course, Dr. Joe Dispenza is explaining the method or the process and the reason behind the process. When we understand what we are doing and why we are doing it, the change becomes easier as we are convinced with the practice, isn't it? And hence, we will maintain it throughout our life. So, this is his approach in his workshops. So, today we are in the first part of this course. In this first part of the course, Dr. Joe Dispenza was explaining about the accident which he met with and which turned out as the turning point in his life. He's explaining like this. In 1989, Dr. Joe met with an accident. He was stuck from behind by a speeding vehicle. He suffered multiple severe spinal fractures, with bone fragments compressing his spinal cord. He also got opinion from 4 top surgeons, and all of them advised him to undergo surgery. And they also told him that he would likely never walk again. So instead of going for the surgery, what Joe chose to explore is that whether his mind could influence his body's healing. Because he believed that there is an inner intelligence which is responsible for our heartbeat, which is responsible for our breathing without our effort, is also responsible for our life and the healing of our body. So he decided to explore that possibility. His approach was that he started mentally reconstructing each vertebra in detail in his meditation. Means, in his meditation, he started visualizing in detail that the inner intelligence within him is reconstructing his each damaged vertebra. So this creates a clear internal template or a design. Then he surrendered the outcome to the body's inner intelligence. Then what happened is that for the first 6 weeks, it was extremely difficult for him to continue this visualization process because his mind constantly shifted to the fear, worst case scenario, and doubt, etc. Because he got the opinion from 6 surgeons, which was not favorable for him, isn't it? So his mind was full of doubts. So for him, initially it was very frustrating, really frustrating for him. So whenever he get negative thoughts, he had to repeatedly stop and again restart the process of visualization due to the loss of focus. So initially, the emotional states like frustration, anger, impatience, doubt, all these interfered his visualization process. But he was so committed to his practice and never allowed any unwanted thoughts to interfere his practice. So over a period of time, through consistent practice, his ability to sustain the attention in his meditation and visualization process improved. After that, his meditation sessions become shorter and more effective. Through this process, he unknowingly trained his brain through repetition of meditation and visualization. So the key realization he got is that after this process is that attention is a skill that strengthens with practice. And repeated focused thoughts rewires the neural circuits in our brain. And after around 6.5 weeks of this consistent practice of meditation and visualization of what? Visualizing that the inner intelligence is reconstructing vertebra by vertebra. See, this was his visualization practice. Okay. So after around 6.5 weeks of consistent practice of meditation and visualization, he completed the meditation and visualization process without losing focus or without any negative thoughts to interfere. So he experienced a coherent moment. Earlier, this process took around almost 3 to 4 hours due to the unwanted thoughts which interfered his process. But now the process took only 45 minutes after around 6.5 weeks of practice. Okay, this has to be understood clearly. So once he gained the complete focus on the process, what happened is that his pain decreases dramatically and his sensation and the motor function returned to his legs. And his body began responding measurably to his mental work. Then what happened is that after around 10.5 weeks of this consistent practice, he stood up and walked again. This was the miracle, isn't it? So by the 12th week, he returned to his work to see the patients. He's a doctor, isn't it? So he returned to his work after 12th week, after 12 weeks of this consistent practice and healed himself. Okay. So what he did in his visualization process is that he was doing emotional rehearsal and living in the future. Means that in the visualization process, he was emotionally rehearsing the future experiences as if he is completely healed. For example, he visualized watching sunsets with his friends, taking showers in beach with his friends, sitting with his friends, and during this visualization, his emotions was also aligned with that particular situation. What he visualized means when we are enjoying with our friends, what will be our emotion? We'll be happy, isn't it? So emotionally, we will be happy. So when he was visualizing all these, he was emotionally happy as if he's already healed and thus aligned emotionally with his visualization. This was the practice he was doing. He was not only doing the visualization practice, he was also aligned emotionally with what he was visualizing. Okay, this is the key actually. So when he really did this one, he emotionally embraced these experiences before they actually occurred. Means before the healing happens actually, he visualized that it has already, means he has already been healed. He got already healed and happily enjoying with his wonderful life, with his friends, etc. This is what he was visualizing in his meditation. Okay. So the main insight from his experience is that our body cannot distinguish between a real experience and a visualization or an imagination when the respective emotions are involved. Means when we visualize with the corresponding elevated emotions, then our body cannot distinguish between a real experience and a visualization. Okay. Then what happened is that his biology means his body actually began responding as if the future has already happening in the present. Okay. And after his healing happened, after he has completely healed, being a doctor, he asked himself, how did this happen biologically? How did this healing happen biologically to me? What was the science behind this? What is the science behind this? He also asked himself. So then he started his studies and understood that neuroplasticity means our brain can rewire itself to a new belief with repetition of a new belief. Means we can change our belief system with consistent repetition. And he also learned about the epigenetics, means genes can also be influenced by environment or our behavior. You also learned about the quantum physics, which says that mind can influence matter. So finally, he understood that our mind body interaction is real and measurable. So after that, what he did is that he also studied the cases of spontaneous remission, means the cases of people who miraculously undergo healing. He interviewed hundreds of people with miraculous healing happened, and he understood from them that there are four common factors among them. What are they? Number one, belief is an belief in an inner intelligence. He also believed the same, isn't it? We all There is an inner intelligence. Okay, all those people believed that there is a inner intelligence which is responsible for the repair and balance of our body, and this intelligence operates through the autonomic nervous system, and they consciously connect. These people know who miraculously heal themselves, they consciously connect with their inner intelligence and gave the inner intelligence the clear direction or intention to carry out. So this is the number one common factor among those people. What is the number two? Personal responsibility. All of the people who experienced miraculous healing, what they did is that they examined their long-term emotional patterns. They took the responsibility, and what they did is that they examined their long-term emotional patterns. They were conscious about their emotional patterns, and they also examined their stress habits. What causes them stress? All these things they also examined, and about their thought patterns and their unconscious behaviors or habits. And they realized that they also realized from the patterns, from the experience or what they examined, from examining all these, they understood that they realized that their past identity or the habits only have contributed to their illness. And they also understood that for healing to happen, they need to break their old habits or old belief system. Okay, what is the number three of their common factor? The number three factor is that they all understood the necessity of becoming someone new. They have to break their old patterns, isn't it? And to become someone new. They asked themselves, why do I want to be? Means, who do I want to be? And through daily mental rehearsal, they installed new neurological circuits in the brain or the belief system or the habits they wanted to acquire. And they re-rehearse the thoughts, actions, and emotions of their expected future. Okay. See, all these things they were doing, and they all undergone. The fourth one is that they all undergone a transcendental state. Means they, during their deep inner work, or their visualization or meditation process, what they undergone is that during their inner work, okay, all of them experience a moment of losing their sense of time and space. These are the four common factors which Joe Dispenza found among the people who undergone this miraculous healing. Okay, spontaneous healing happened. Okay, so finally, based on his research and measurable evidences, Dr. Joe Dispenza came up with his teachings. Okay, what did Dr. Joe began teaching workshops worldwide, spreading all this his wisdom worldwide. He also organized scientific teams to accompany his workshop, okay, to measure the changes like brain scans. They took brain scans of the people who attended the workshops, okay, and heart rate variability. All these things they checked. Energy fields, gene expressions, immune functions, and neurotransmitters and hormones, and telometer, which is the biological aging. So his findings are that even our gene expression can change as little as 4 days of practice. Okay, this is what he got means he got exposed to in the workshops. He got exposed to the research findings that even our gene expression can be changed with 4 days of consistent practice. And regular meditation lengthens the biological aging in most of the participants in the workshop. And the elevated emotion strengthens the immunity level of the participants. These were the findings from the workshop. So in his workshops, he observed many healings and he documented these healings which are happened through his workshops, which includes stage 4 cancer also healed. Then Parkinson's disease, people with Parkinson's disease got healed, and brain tumors, autoimmune disease, genetic disorders, blindness from the stroke. And these real-time experiences builds the strong belief that once someone does it, others can, means others realize that it is possible for others as well. So it's a clear indication that this can also be helpful to anyone who can do this. Okay. So after years of research, he extracted the process and he fine-tuned the process into a simple formula for transformation, and which is explained through this online course. The course, the formula. The course name is the formula, which we will be discussing in detail in this series of our subsequent videos, which will provide you the one formula to change our reality, whether it is our health, whether it is our wealth, whether it is our career, whether it is our relationships, or whether it is our finance. We can change any current reality using this formula. Okay, so we will see the details in our subsequent videos. So finally, here I just want to ask you one question based on this particular part. Okay, what was the actual manifestation principle Dr. Joe used in his own healing? Find out your answers and come out with your answers. Thank you, guys. Thank you.